thought Luke P was gonna go out there to comfort her, and then he did, so I was excited, but then she said she was cold and he didn't offer his jacket. They should call you James Charles, honey, because you've been canceled. Hey guys, welcome back to my Bachelor reaction series. I'm so excited because we did this all of last season for Colton, and now we're gonna do it for Hannah B, and I'm so excited because she is just giving so much content. We love her. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe because I put out new videos every single week and it helps me a whole bunch. Now, let's get to the action. Okay, first things first, I just want to get this off my chest. I believe that Chris Harrison and Hannah B are meant to be. They're so cute together, and like, he's constant. Guys, there's a bee in my room. There's straight up a hornet in my room. Okay, nope. I can't turn it. Do you see that? Guys, I'm gonna stay in here and finish this video, but you better believe I'm gonna do it super quick. It's on top of Virgil, my teddy bear, and like, gotta get this off my chest. Chris Harrison and Hannah B are meant to be. They're so precious together. You can see when they interact, they're super comfortable with each other. Now, granted, like, it could be a mentor-mentee relationship, and that's still fine, but like, come on, they're adorable. And when we were watching them go on the hometown dates, you know, we saw all these different clips, and then they showed clips about Hannah being upset later in the series, and my mom was like, Daddy, help me. And I didn't know how to react to it, but also that means that she's on the crispy Hannah wagon, the Crana wagon. Oh my gosh, the crispy wagon. Love that. Guys, I don't know where the bee went. Guys, oh no, it's there. Let's get still on the bear. Okay. I'm about to wash my bear. Roll Tide! Is anyone gonna do like a drinking game where they say Roll Tide after every Roll Tide? Because like, honestly, those people are gonna get poisoning. Why is my window open? That's how the bee got in. I have to close the window, but I don't want to go by the bee. Gosh, this is the scariest moment of my life. Nope, I'm not doing that now. I'm just gonna let him live his life, and hopefully he leaves later. I love that in the beginning packages, she's like going through the fields of wheat and like by the water, and she's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Chris Harrison could tell you. Okay, I'll stop. And then she talked about her goal wasn't to be Miss Alabama, and I'm like, yeah, no, your goal was to beat Kaylin. Then we meet all the guys, and they're literally all fetuses. Like, this is the youngest group of men they've ever had on The Bachelor. Like, they're all little cherub babies. We had this dude who like is a construction worker, and he was dancing all around his work site. Not only is that not safe, but then he was like, yeah, me and Kevin Bacon are like offspring. Yeah, everyone is an offspring. That's how it works. I don't think that word means what you think it means. Then we have sweet little baby Matt Donald feeding the goats at his farm, but he's wearing an Argyle scarf, and I'm like, honey, who wears an Argyle scarf to feed goats? Then Hannah's talking about like all the different guys, and Chris Harrison's like, yeah, you gotta try some different flavors. You can't just have Southern all the time. And I'm like, does he want her to try cookies and cream? And like, that's a reference from the YouTube clip they posted where he goes to Hannah's hometown and he says that he's a cookies and cream ice cream flavor when she asks. So first impressions on some of the guys. There was a guy named Dylan who was in an all-white tuxedo. I'm like, this guy's a precious bean. Like, he's not someone that you're like hot for, but he'll rub your feet at the end of a long day. John Paul Jones. He's like, my name is John Paul Jones. My friends call me John Paul Jones. You can call me John Paul Jones. And I was all like, how about I call you Never? Then we had this guy named Joey who brings in this little baby carriage. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what a power move. And then it's wine on the inside. And I'm like, okay, I see you, Joey. Like, that's funny. We love that. I hope he makes it. Also, he's 33, which is prime guy age. Like, that's when a guy's at his prime. Then there was Grant. And like, I loved Grant. He was giving me kind of like a poor man's Gerard Butler vibes. But his job is literally unemployed, and he's 30 years old. And usually, like, if someone's unemployed, they have a fake job, like, you know, like Roller King or Shark or Sloth. But if your job actually says unemployed, that means you're like super unemployed. There's a guy named Kevin who I was intrigued by, but I literally couldn't tell you anything about him other than his name was Kevin. Luke P comes out of the car on top of it and is like acting like a beast, and I get it, and that's cute and precious or whatever, but he's gonna be the villain of the season. That was my impression, but then I watched the end of the show. Now there's like 3 villains, and I think everyone is just pretty much trash, so she shouldn't have sent home Chasen because they're all garbage. Also, Hannah mentions that she wants to be like tossed around by a guy, and I think that's why she likes Luke P, because he's very aggressive and like that's what she's going for, but like I feel like that's not gonna work out well for her. And then we saw Cam rapping, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're a precious bean. He was rapping like a beast. Get it? I'm so funny. But no, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a precious being. I love him. But then they showed at the end that he's gonna be a tool, and I'm like, ugh. And then we meet Chasen, and I was like, oh my gosh, my feelings for him are kind of up in the air. Get it? Because he's a pilot. But then at the end, when he got sent home, I like was just so enamored with him, and I was like, how dare you send him home? He's giving Mr. Darcy realness. I also just like for a real moment love that Hannah was praying before she started this whole journey. We love a girl who loves God. Then we had the whole Scott drama where he had a girlfriend the whole time, and Hannah comes in and like, oh my gosh, I fell in love with her in that moment because she was just like, Scott, we need to go talk. And she was not like playing games. She came in there like a winner. We stand a strong woman. Then when she's confronting Scott, he clears his throat, and that's when you know he's guilty. If he clears his throat, then he is just coughing up some lies. It was also so precious when she was like talking to Scott because all the guys were like shushing each other. They want to hear what she's saying. Then when Hannah kicks Scott out, she's literally just bolting to the door, not even touching him, and just being like, come on, come on. Like, she's just, it was amazing. Then she comes in and is all like, if anyone's here not for the right reasons, or if any of you have girlfriends at home, like, you need to tell me now because that's so disrespectful. And all the boys just look like schoolboys who have been yelled at, which makes sense because they're all babies. And they're all just like, no, I got no one. I got no one. They're all just so just chastised. Who let these teenagers out of economics class so that they could come compete on the show? Alright guys, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to subscribe because I'm going to do this whole series like I do every episode. I'm probably going to do Bachelor in Paradise, so like come back. It helps me a whole bunch. Subscribe.